It's the night before Manny's wedding, and he's nervous as all hell. So his friend Gabe gives him a psychedelic drug so that he can go to a multiverse and meet himself, different versions of himself, to try to learn a lesson, a little bit of guidance about his life and what decisions he should be making. We are diving into the nitty-gritty, the dialogue of all of these different versions of the same person. How the hell can we make 5 different versions of the same person sound different but also the same? I don't know. We're going to try to tear apart their backstory and their life and what makes their lives different. And I think that they're all going to realize that they're pretty cool just the way they are. Welcome into the Phaneron. Okay, so now they're going to question each other and what's going on. Manny one has fears of regret. He doesn't want to miss out on everything that comes with being single. He's afraid of the sacrifice. The other Mannys all talk about their lives, kind of like the man from Earth. Manny one realizes he is the winner. His life is the best, even though it's hard. Okay, so that's kind of like the conclusion, but not like I win, but more of just a realization. Okay.
No, just like a comforting realization he gets. Not like out loud and not like rubbing in anybody's face or against anybody else, because they're all going to do the same exact thing by taking this drug, you know? So
yeah,
they're all getting it. It's not like he wins, but like they all win, you know?
It's almost like the point of taking the drug is to talk to other versions of yourself so you can reassure yourself. You can be reassured that you are making the right choice, or that like it gives you an opportunity to pivot. Like it kind of just gives you perspective on your life because it gives you alternative views.
Or the better way to put it was you took the drug because something was unsure, and what it did was give you that bump to that place you were trying to get confirmation that that's where you should be, you know, instead of here, you know,
to make the decision. Like people who are like on the fence about something. Okay, so if that's the case, we should probably, just for our own sake, because now we're going to have to get into this conversation and it has to feel natural, so we have to know where they're coming from. So what's the thing that Manny 5 is trying to make a decision on? Maybe it's an investment.
Okay, maybe he met his ex-wife at the resort that he's at, or at the golfing thing. I think he's in golfing clothes, so at the golfing thing he's at, and maybe he says something like, I saw her and she was so fucking hot. And like maybe I didn't make the right mistake, and fucking, because he's getting married, he's like, maybe I could get married to her again or something like that. But then like the way he talks about her or something, he's like, oh yeah, like she's nothing like that. Never mind. At the end, he's like, thank God, I almost did something really bad.
Yeah. Okay. So, in the spirit of, nobody's the bad guy, but he's probably the most like egotistical of all of them because he grew up with money and he has money. So like the things that he says, he's more confident, and like so maybe he's also like sarcastically funny too. He like at the end he puts his hand on Manny one's shoulder. He's like, thank you, Manny, like you really made me realize that I don't want to fucking get married again. Like thank you so much. I don't know, something like that.
Something like that. Or if his main thing is that he's like confident because like he's successful in it, like the things that he tries and he doesn't give up and blah 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 blah. Maybe something that makes him not confident. I don't know.
Okay.
That's not too groundbreaking, actually.
No, that's something that makes him vulnerable in his life. Okay. Okay. Wait a second. He saw his ex-wife. He's been talking shit about her the whole time. She's a bitch. She took all my money. Don't get married. And then like maybe he breaks down and kind of like cries a little bit about, because he's like, I still love her, man. And then he's like, no, I don't. Fuck her. Or
maybe like, as long as it's not crying, because men don't cry in movies. Maybe in these new movies, I've noticed.
Yeah, I mean, you look at something like Braveheart, where the guy's getting tortured and he doesn't shed a tear, and he just yells "freedom,"
Yeah.
and then
Well,
you see movies nowadays, and it's like, she left me.
well, yeah. Like I first noticed it in when Punisher came out on Netflix,
Oh,
and
the
in
Netflix
every
Punisher. I
episode
thought you
he
meant
has to
the
cry
movie.
2 or 3 times.
Really?
Like I don't
I
want to
haven't
watch the
watched it.
Punisher cry in every episode multiple times. Like this is not what I want to see. So that's why I stopped watching those things. And then I started seeing it everywhere.
Some trends
But
are
I know you didn't
definitely
mean
being.
cry like that, you know.
I didn't. No,
But
I didn't mean like straight
yeah,
up ball, but
I know.
also there's a lot of trends that are being overdone now. I think that, I mean, men can be vulnerable and not necessarily cry, but like you look at something like a man who has to do something really hard or loses a family member or something like that, and you see his eyes swell up and you
Hmm.
see like him bite his bottom lip, and he
Yeah,
just like sucks it up, but you could tell he's fucking crying, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
but he's not.
Like,
You
but
know,
he's not.
he's
Cuz
not
yeah, because
overcome by his emotions.
men can be vulnerable, but we like tend to push it down. We like,
The
because
old,
that's our
old Irish
responsibility. We're
way.
the protectors. The old Irish way. Just take a little swig. No, but like we're the protectors, we're the hunters, so we can't be like breaking down in the middle of a fight and going, ah! Like we have to fucking stand strong because we have families and like tribes to protect. It's baked into our evolution. So okay, so deal. It's his wife.
Yeah, good one. Okay, so 5 it's his wife. 3 I don't know, maybe he could be like yeah, so 5 stays the same, doesn't keep his wife or get back with his wife. 3, I was thinking maybe he's like, yeah, maybe I'll get a job. And that guy offered me a job or something, who knows, you know. Something like that.
He got offered a job. I was gonna say his parents are gonna kick him out, but they probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
Got offered a job. Thinks it would be sick, but doesn't want to change his lifestyle. Okay, so and maybe it's like video game tester. So it's like the perfect job, and he's like, I don't know, man. I don't even have to work or do anything right now. I get everything like handed up to me on a silver platter.
Yeah, but I don't want to actually have to do it. You know, if I want to go out partying for 3 days straight, I don't want to have to something like that. You know.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Manny 4. He's the tight ass rule follower. What is he up for? He's up for a promotion.
I was thinking maybe he just wants to get back on base and never do any drugs again, or something like that. It's like he can't handle.
Yeah, because he got roofied. He didn't choose to come here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's funny too.
I just want all this to stop and me to go back on base and forget this ever happened.
Which is
funny because there's some people that do like, you know, hallucinogen, and that is their thing. It's like, that wasn't for me, never doing it again, bye. You know? And then mostly everybody's like, oh, I would do that again.
My wife, she's like, she doesn't like losing control over herself, so she doesn't ever let herself get to a point like, or take any hallucinogenic drugs.
Mm-hmm. And then there's 2.
Okay.
We did 5, 4, 3. Now there's 2.
2.
What do you think? 2? 2 is like
he's the orphan.
The orphan drug seller guy, or whatever.
The orphan, but maybe he's like, I have an opportunity to take over the entire neighborhood as a drug cartel. I don't know if I should take the job. No, I don't know. Maybe he's okay. It doesn't have to be. Maybe not every single one of them has to have this like aha moment.
Yeah, we don't have to write it in, but we at least have to know what it is. So like a cue or something could be like hinted at or something.
You're right. So it's not going to be a relationship. It's going to be I don't think it should be a job either. Because we have two people dealing with relationships, one person or two people dealing with jobs, really, because Manny 4 is afraid he's going to lose his job.
Yeah, but that's he's it's his lifestyle and his everything.
That's yeah.
You know,
Maybe Manny 2 like starts building like a shelter, and everyone's like, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "This is a sick spot. I think I'm going to stay here for a while." They're like, "You can't just build a shelter." He's like, "Why not? Like the world is my fucking oyster, man. Like I can live wherever the fuck I want."
or yeah, something like that.
He wants to stay in the trip, and everyone else is like,
No, I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking like he like maybe is like moving or something like that. He moves. No, that's stupid.
okay. He's moving. Okay.
No, that's stupid.
Well, why is he moving? Well, it's probably, think about his lifestyle. So maybe he has to move because he like robbed somebody, or like got into a gang's territory, and he's like, dude, my whole fucking livelihood. And he's like, and then it's like, oh well, shit, can't you just like pick up shop and move somewhere else? I was like, yeah, but like that's a pain in the ass. It's gonna cost so much money. It's like, oh well, how much do you have saved up from selling drugs? Like 3.5 million. And then they're all just like, what? Yeah, but it's mostly in Bitcoin. I think that I don't know. I kind of like that. He's oblivious to how successful he actually is. He's kind of holding himself back. And once he realizes that he actually has the opportunity to like completely never work again for the rest of his life because he actually has money, he's like, whoa, really? Like I could just buy a bunch of drugs and settle down. Buy a house.
I don't know about that. I'm trying to think of like what else is there. There's a job. There's relationship. I guess like something artsy. That could be kind of ironic that he picks art.
What if it's graffiti? And he's like, maybe he tags a tree while he's out there, and they're like, whoa. Oh, wait, no, they're from different... I was going to say, you're that guy? It's like, what do you mean? From Multiverse.
Okay, that's funny.
Come on. Throw something out there. I threw two things out there, and you turn both of them down.
Maybe comic books.
Okay.
Because in that thing that you wrote that was clearly a joke, but like and a placeholder. But fucking
what?
Both of my parents were killed coming out of a fucking
oh yeah.
out of a theater.
Yeah. Okay, so that's kind of his sick sense of humor because he's into comic books.
Well, Batman would have existed before he was born anyway, so like Batman's a character, you know, that everybody would know. You know, Batman's famous. Everyone knows that his parents were. So he says that joke, and Manny 3 perks up, and then Manny 2 be like, no, it was a car crash. You know, or something.
Yeah.
And also, it was so long ago, funny. Like he's over it now, you know.
Yeah, he never even knew them, so he doesn't miss them.
So yeah. That's funny.
He's freaking out, man.
So now we know all their things.
Did we say... does Manny 3 do this frequently? Or he just knows?
No, none of them have ever done it. Because then they would know that they were going to meet themselves.
Okay. I pitched this to you in a text, but I have to pitch it to you again. There needs to be some type of physical token or connection to this wife that he has to reference back to in order to kind of keep this emotion or this like arc like we have to reference something, and I was thinking it could be a picture, or maybe it could be his watch or something like that. Like he keeps looking at his watch, and then we like in the very beginning he's sitting in the room, and he just sees a quick like 10 frame flash of his wife or a woman giving him the watch and like kissing him on the cheek, and then it cuts back to him and he like looks at the watch, and then we kind of like reference that. Now we don't have to show that again, we could just show the watch and then play kind of a motif of like a sound effect to kind of reference his emotional journey so that it doesn't get lost in the conversation. So it doesn't have to be something super like,
I don't know,
touchy-feely sentimental, but it has to be something like, maybe it's even like a shot glass or something like that, or I don't know, you know, something that represents his wife, because that's the decision that he's making.
I don't think people need to see it though. Like it's how are we going to have our protagonist stand out and his journey go through? The only way we're going to do that is by showing something like that, or by expositioning it out in a conversation. So if we have just a flash of something like a setup and a payoff, even if it's a phrase, if we want to do phrases, I'd rather do a visual, an image, because like I said, I don't want it to be exposition-y. So if we just show something, an item, almost like an Inception, how he has the thing, the spin, the top, whatever. Yeah, but that was cheesy and it didn't make sense.
No, it held the whole, like it was a callback every time you saw it. It was like it reminded
I understand
you
why
of
he
previous...
put it in the story.
Well, it doesn't.
But it does. I don't think it needs that. Like you don't need to see her or anything.
If you read this from the beginning,
because also learning,
if you read this,
is like we're watching it. We're getting all this information. They're in a tuxedo. There's some sort of a party-ish kind of thing going on in the other room that you could hear that's kind of muffled, and like all that, and then you see all these other ones in different clothing, and then right after that he explains that like I'm getting married tomorrow, and like we're putting it all together, trying to figure out this story, you know. And it's all there, like the information and everything is all there for everything.
You're right, it is all there, especially that you going over those beats. Like you're right, all the information is there.
But
so
and it's not
keep
like
writing it the way that we're writing.
He's not like, oh, by the way, I'm getting married tomorrow. Are you guys getting married tomorrow
and I'm
too?
really
like
nervous.
It's not like crazy. It's subtle, almost natural the way it would go. Oh, what?
Well, now I'm thinking it's the day before his wedding. He has a ring on him.
Does he? Is that it? What men have a engagement ring too?
No, the man gives the woman an engagement ring, and then the man gets a wedding band for the woman, and the woman gets a wedding band for the man, and then they put them on each other. So the man gets the wedding band. He has her wedding band in his pocket because he's going to be putting it on her finger during the ceremony tomorrow, and she has his. So he doesn't even have to take it out, but he has it in his pocket.
Okay.
I had my wife's ring on me the whole time, and I was really nervous I was going to lose it.
Exactly.
But so he has it on him. It's in his pocket. Or maybe the first time we see him, he's holding it, and we see not the ring, but the box. It's closed. He's looking at it. And then when Gabe walks in, he puts it in his pocket, and that's all. And that's the only other information that we have to add in there.
That's like a line.
It makes sense because
line,
he would have it. It's one line. So, okay, wait a second. I'm assuming he's waiting in the room for Gabe, and Gabe walks in. But do they walk in together?
It just like fades in from black, you know?
Yeah. Or no, it's I imagine it as a slam cut to.
I can see that.
The door closing. But right now, it just seems like just one friend is panting and pacing, but it doesn't show that he's nervous about getting married. It shows that he's excited about doing the drug. And we have to kind of hint to the fact that he's nervous about being married, because that's his whole journey, his whole like internal journey. So we'll come back and figure that out, but let's start writing some of this dialogue. Okay, so maybe we can think about some points that they're going to make. Like, what are going to be, maybe we have 3 aha moments for Manny 1, and they can come from 3 different characters, or they could all come from the same character. But what do you think they could be? Like 2 small ones and then a big one.
Well, clearly it should be that Manny 5 was already married and now divorced. Should be one of them.
Do you think that should be the first one? Okay, I agree. Because that's gonna push him away. It's gonna make him hesitate because he's like, oh shoot, So it's kind of the first obstacle. But then he continues to listen, and like join in on the conversation. Okay, so
then another one.
Maybe Manny 4 gets really like stoic at one point out of nowhere. He's like nervous the whole time, and then he gets like really like, he almost monologues, like says something, like quotes some type of philosopher or something, and it makes a lot of sense to all of them. They all like look up at the same time and tilt their head like, oh. Like it kind of like rounds everything out for everybody. And that could be a comedic moment too. Because he could say something really stupid and funny that also is like meaningful.
But what?
That's the question. Manny 4 says something meaningful that resonates with
Manny
all the other
3.
Mannys.
Maybe he says something about like how he rides motorcycles, because he's obviously a motorcycle mechanic, as he said he was.
Yeah.
Says something like, I don't know, you must have the life. Working on motorcycles, hot motorcycle chick, marrying a hot motorcycle chick, and like it makes him think actually about his life, because maybe Manny 2 was just talking about something depressing, the orphan kid, and Manny 3 compliments Manny 1, makes him feel good about his life. He's like, oh, actually he's right. It is awesome.
Okay, cool. Dude, this is going to write itself now. Actually, no, it's not. We still have to write it. Manny 1 snaps out of his trance. He looks at Manny 5, confused. What do you do? I'm usually the one wearing a suit. I'm a motorcycle mechanic. Yeah, that makes sense. No, I'm getting married tomorrow. Well, maybe not, because are we dead or something? That's it. We're dead. My life is over. We're not dead. We're just tripping balls. See, if you say the dialogue out loud, you find more natural ways of writing. We're not dead. We're just tripping balls. That's worse. This is sick. Okay, so then
something has to make it go serious,
Okay, so then Manny 1 says something like, what the hell, Gabe? What was... Or maybe he just like says to himself, like, what did Gabe give me? And then Manny 2 is like, oh, you know Gabe?
Wait, yeah, who knew Gabe?
All of them, well, Manny 5...
5 and 4 didn't, right?
Manny 1, 2, and 3 know Gabe. Manny 5 and 4. 4 got roofied, and 5 met him at... And did he buy the drugs off of him? Maybe he bought it, and the guy, he was like, do you have any, like acid, or do you have any, shrooms? Or maybe he says it like cryptically. Do you do you serve mushrooms at this hotel? I don't know. And then Gabe, we see Gabe's face. I'm just imagining it in like a feature film. Obviously, we're not showing any of that. But oh, dude, I have a great idea. Menu, format, dual dialogue. They're exactly the same person.
I hate that. It does matter. No. Just do this.
Okay. Okay, so how do we transition into Manny 5 talking about his wife? It's got to be kind of like a regular transition. Because none of them want to get out of there. So, like, now, do they all realize that they're tripping? Like, because... Okay, so maybe Manny 4 says, who the hell is Gabe? And then Manny 5 says, this is not acid. So then Manny 3 says, to Manny 1, since he's intrigued with his life. So, you're getting married. Manny 1 snap, you know. And then Manny 5 butts in like, oh, why are you getting married?
What did I say her name was? Deborah?
I don't think we should.
Yeah.
Who, his ex? Succubus. Okay, I do like that. But I think this should still go here.
What? Or instead of that. What? He goes
what do you
like,
mean by gets distraught?
Oh yeah, you gotta write that.
Distraught is a feeling, so
Yeah,
you
like-
have to write what he does. He starts like hyperventilating.
Oh, I'm in trouble.
And he starts hyperventilating. That's not spelled right. And then we don't have to say at Manny 2 explaining. He's just when Manny 2 says that, he starts hyperventilating. And then we cut right into the conversation. You know, you're gonna wish you were dead if you say I do to that dumb bitch. What? Deborah is a cold-hearted cunt. Just say no. Who the fuck is Deborah? Manny 5, huh? And then Manny 1, what did Gabe give me? Oh, you know Gabe? Who the hell is Gabe? Or maybe this can be... No. Who the hell is Gabe? We want to keep...
Wait, no, that'll be right.
He's just asking questions.
How the viewer now knows that everybody understands kind of what's going on is when Manny 5
opens his mouth to talk, but holds back. Huh? What did Gabe give me? Oh, you know Gabe. Who the hell's Gabe? Oh, he's my oldest friend. Since, like, elementary school. Manny 1 and 2 smile and nod. That guy did not give me acid. Okay. Nope. So then this, we don't need to do
what
that.
If Manny 2 says it, and Manny 1 says, you know
now.
Gabe. Manny 2, I was thinking like Manny 5 or Manny 1 or something like that. Maybe pushes Manny 5 or Manny 1 or something like that. And they're like, and then Manny 2 will get bumped into or something. And it'll allow them to say, like, he'll be like, well, like, Gabe, what did you give me? Like, this feels real, you know, or something like that. And then Manny 1 and 3 will be like, you know, Gabe, striking that conversation. And then,
okay, I like that.
Now, everybody knows what's going on. Once that conversation, the Gabe thing is done, everybody knows what's going on. The drug that is working,
Well,
everyone
I think
knows
that right
Gabe, and
now
now we can
everyone knows.
concentrate, and everyone knows kind of a thing about them, and then the rest of it, the next 3 pages or whatever it's going to be, is just lesson learning, and then
Yeah.
a sudden end.
So Manny 1 tenses up and leans toward Manny 5 eagerly. Oh, you make a million, they take. You make a million, government gets 50%.
What's like a female animal that devours besides like a black widow? Yeah, but like a real one.
Succubus. Uh,
Like I'm thinking piranhas, but piranhas are both, right? Male and female.
I like that. Oh, you make a million, the government gets its share, and the wife rips the rest from you, like a
Something like
wild
that,
piranha.
He's not happy with his ex-wife.
And then he goes, but I'm sure it'll work out for you.
Manny 3 chuckles at that or something like that.
Manny 1. And then and goes, idiot. Oh. Manny 3 chuckles. Manny 1. I'll just put that on the same
What?
line. Manny 1 shivers.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Wait, no, yeah, I guess golfing clothes and resort clothes are like the same clothes, right? And also resorts sometimes have golf
Yeah.
thingies, whatever they're called on them. Yeah, and then Manny 3 could be like, "Oh, I didn't even think about that." Like, you, Manny 5 will be. I see where you're going. He's going to explain that that's why he did the drug, right? And Manny 3, it'll click. He'll be like,
Yeah.
"So,
Yeah.
like, I did it because of this job thing for this thing, and then." That means that every one of you is going through something. Like he's figuring it out, like almost like a Deadpool, like meta, like because he's thought of this exact situation. He's kind of like prepared for it in thinking that style.
Yeah, so Manny 1, Manny 4, and Manny 5 both, all three of them look at Manny 3 like, what? And then Manny 2's like, yeah, no, that checks
Yeah,
out. That makes sense. I've thought of that before. Because they both
yeah,
do drugs, so they like
yeah.
have an open
No, that
mind.
checks out. I've thought of that before too, and also I'm doing this, or I think I'm going to. What do we say? I'm trying to get this loan for this comic book or something like that, and everyone just quickly explains this thing, and then they all stand there and they're like, "So what are we supposed to do?" or something.
Okay, let's try to make it as concise. And then maybe Manny 5 breaks the ice and he's like, well, clearly you're not supposed to get married because why would the drug send you to meet me?
Yeah, something like that.
And then Manny 3 could be like, I actually always wish that I could find a girl and get married. Like,
Or
your life is so cool. Like, you
he'll
work on
be really like
motorcycles, you got a hot
aggressively,
chick.
maybe not like aggressively like the bad guy, but be saying like things like, she's gonna be like this, blah 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 blah. And he'd be like, eventually, like Manny one will say something like,
Yeah.
"No, she does this and that and blah blah blah," and like she's awesome. You're not explaining the same person. And Manny five will be like, "Yeah, actually, she never did those things for me. Actually, it sounds pretty cool." And then like maybe somebody will like say something, then we go to like Manny four or something, just to like break away from Manny one because there's other characters, and this actor is gonna like acting differently with all these different characters.
We'll have to get like a Philip Seymour Hoffman, raise him from the grave.
Yeah, and Manny Four has nothing. He just doesn't want to do drugs. This is just a reassuring thing that he's on the right course.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to do this ever again. No, he's not. He's a stellar Marine.
Manny. Hearing those words come out of your mouth made me laugh.
He just says what a lot. His character is Mark Wahlberg.
What? Yeah, I was thinking that somebody needed to respond, but I didn't want to waste a line. I was just going to condense it all onto Manny 3's line. What's so bad about Denise? What does she do to him?
She took his money. Only wanted. She's a bitch. Classic gold digger.
I think it's funny that Manny 3 is the least accomplished, but he's the most calm, and he's actually the most informed, and he's kind of like the mediator because he understands what's happening the most. Okay, so now we turn it back to Manny 1, and maybe Manny 2 initiates the conversation with him. And then I still like the idea that Manny 4 is kind of like out of the picture right now, but then he comes in at the end and says something really like stoic, and everyone else goes, "Ah, I get it." And then he goes back to being his panicked self. So maybe Manny 2's like, like he initiates the conversation. So you're getting married? Like, man, I'm too busy to meet a girl, or like, I don't know. And then Manny 3 is like, yeah, it must be sick to work on motorcycles all day. Like,
yeah, but I'm gonna be having to get off soon because this laptop is dying, and I do have to wake up for work tomorrow.
Me too. We're almost done. We're right there at the finish line. We're probably gonna have to do another episode because time is fleeting, my friend.
But if you think it's funny though, you could like literally just watch the videos, and that's the amount of time we've spent on this. You know what I mean? And look how much we've done.
Yeah.
Like, the story is awesome. It's like super fleshed out. We just need to put in the actual like little bits of meat and everything, and then do like a final once over of like the dialogue. Make everything super fine tuned.
Yeah.
And awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, and imagine if we had like 24 hours with no interruptions, we could get this done. I mean, we've done probably 3, 4, maybe 5, 4.5 to 5 hours worth of writing on this, and we're almost done. It's probably going to stretch to 10 pages on the first draft, and then once we do a read through, and then just try to wither it down to 8 pages, cutting out all the fluff, making anything that doesn't need to be in there doesn't need to be in there. Just like the thing with the engagement ring that I was suggesting, or the picture. Like that's good when you have writing partners and you bounce things off of each other. It's like really helps get a hold on the actual story and what's important, and gets kind of your ego out of there. You know what I mean? So, all right, Betty Bye time. I want to say 5.